Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another it's a beautiful Monday here in Minnesota. Welcome to another beautiful stream with our beautiful faces here on GG
Hey,
Sports
hey, I
Podcast.
appreciate that one.
It's a great day, not only to be a Vikings fan, because Vikings are back at Voluntary, which we'll get into that. Voluntary OTAs today. Wolves are out here winning Game 7s going on to the Western Conference Finals. Whether or not you're a Minnesota sports fan in general, as a Vikings fan, what have you, if you are a full-on Minnesota sports fan, it's a great day to be just that. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. And I think that's what we got to talk about right away here is just that, in this, we kind of decided, especially this time of the year with the Vikings and everything, like it's not much going on. I mean, we're going to start every show with the Vikings, but man, when you got a team like the Timberwolves regardless, honestly, regardless of which Minnesota sports team, going into a conference final for their respective sports. Obviously, the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing that in the NBA, and we're going to dive into that and talk about Game 7 and what we're expecting moving forward here. But I do think I think we want to definitely have like a part of these videos, especially when they're in playoffs, to talk about some Wolves here and talk about either. I don't even care if it's the Twins, whatever. Hey, there's a lot of time. It's exciting time. Casey's like, not the Twins. We kind of missed the window.
We did. Yeah, we missed the one time the Twins will be good this season. But hey, if the Twins lose the rest of the games as a sacrifice for the Timberwolves to win the NBA championship,
dude, worth it.
Oh,
dude, I can't wait. I can't wait to get into some Wolves.
We've been talking about this in our lifetimes. We have never seen a Minnesota sports team in a championship game, series, what have you, out of the Big Four sports. We've never seen it.
Right.
And to think that if someone had told me that the Wolves would be the first team I'd see, and again, they still have a whole Western Conference Finals to go through.
Yeah,
they got a tough team with Kyrie and Luka. It's gonna be a hard-fought series, but
yeah,
if they can get there, to think it'd be the Wolves to be that first team that we'll see making a legitimate run, getting to a finals somehow.
Right,
it's crazy. Never would have believed it in my wildest dreams that they would be the ones to do it, but.
Hey, we're going to get into that. We're going to get that in a bit. Let's do some shout-outs here because we got our boy Bandito in the building. What up, Skol Wolfpack? Let's go. Skol Wolfpack. We got Dan Henneman in the building. What's going on, Dan? What's up? Big Railing Dad. What's going on, my guy? With the hashtag Skol. Of course, another show, another JJ Bowman first rookie card giveaway. So just like Big Railing Dad did, get those hashtag Skols in the comments. Like the video if you have not already. And of course, subscribe if you have not already. But get those hashtag Skols in, giving that away at the end of the show. That was an awesome game last. Oh my gosh, dude. It's something else, man. It's something else. When one team wins, the rest of the teams in the town win too.
I texted Jamie like a minute into second half. I'm like, did they even come up with a plan? What in the F am I watching? And right after I said that, they flipped the switch and turned it around.
Dude, it's crazy.
Once they were down 20, I
what
thought
up, my guy?
Game over. I was thinking.
Hey, speaking of championships, our boy Gary's grandson won a champ. Well, right? Yeah, he just won his first ring. How old's your grandson? 9-10-year-old gets his first ring, just like JJ McCarthy does. Now JJ McCarthy has 2 handsfuls and going to add here, hopefully in the next 5 years, at least one. But yeah, congrats, Gary, on that, man. I'm so glad how all that worked out for you and him. And I'm excited to see his progression, man. I'm excited to see what he ends up turning out to be.
If he goes pro, you got to give us some. You got to make sure.
You got to give us an interview for sure.
Make sure we get him on the show.
Yeah. First one's Gary.
We can get him on the show anyway. Actually.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, we called dibs first.
Yeah.
So if Rap's in here, I want him to know right now that we get dibs first. What else we got in here? Twins, Wolves are going to the finals. Yeah, let's go. Twins won 2 titles in my life. I know they won before I was born. I was born in 92. Their last win was in 91. Hashtag Skols. Let's go. Congrats. Yeah, you got it, bro. That's what I'm talking about. What up, Two-Toned? Yeah, see? All right. Raps knows this. So anyways, but we'll get into some Wolves stuff. But let's start about the Vikings because, I mean, even though it's almost.
Oh boy, there he is.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, man. Hard-fought series. I thought you had us. I thought you had us.
The Nuggets are something else. Jokic is something else. He's a guy that he's like one of those superstars. Like even if you just want to hate him because he's so good, but he's like one of those guys like he could just destroy us. And don't hate him. I can't hate him,
Well,
right? But Jamal Murray isn't that guy. Jamal Murray and Devin Booker, like those are guys where you you start to not like them. But Jokic could destroy us all the time, and his personality. I mean, he brings I don't give a fuck to a whole other level, and it honestly blows my mind.
With Murray though, like I get it. Like when you're in the heat of competition, you're in the heat of a 7-game series, you do got to be a little smack talkish, which he was.
I mean, Ant does that.
But seeing him and Ant kind of dap it up at the end of the game, felt a little better there. Than Jokic listened to his post game press conference. Like there wasn't any excuses. He just straight up said like they beat us, they're the better team. They got a lot of good guys over there. So you do have a lot of respect for a guy like that.
Not everybody on that team has nice press, I guess bitter press conferences. I don't know. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah. But hey, but listening. Okay, well, I guess we'll talk about it later. But listening to Ant and Cat at the end of the game too was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah, we'll get back into that. But
anyway, but like you said, we do got to talk about OTAs, voluntary OTAs.
Before you jump into where I know you're going with this, before you get into what because this is one thing I do want to mention because these voluntary OTAs, voluntary OTAs, they might as well just not even have them, or I mean, not that they shouldn't, but like they do not tell anybody. Like you got to dig around, be like, it's OTAs, right? It's voluntary OTAs. Like you barely can find that out from Minnesota's Vikings page. There's no highlights coming out. There's really nothing coming out to make you think that there's practice going on with our Vikings, which is kind of annoying because of course, like I swear it wasn't like this. Just like after the day one of rookie mini camp was the only time we got highlights. They're supposed to practice all weekend long. We didn't get a single thing about it. Maybe they don't want to like put the pressure on the players, have, JJ throw a bad throw or something, like he had one already and it went viral early on. Things like that, I'm guessing, is probably how that works. But yeah, I don't know. It's annoying. But anyways, yeah, voluntary OTAs, not mandatory. So I guess I'll let you jump into right where you're headed with that.
I mean, Justin Jefferson not showing up is not that big of a deal. Okay.
Especially since he hasn't showed up for like 3 years.
Right. If it gets down to mandatory minicamp and he's not there, then we start scratching our heads and we have some concerns. But voluntary OTAs, anybody that's panicking, freaking out about him not being there, it's okay. Just calm down.
Hasn't been there. He wasn't there last year. Okay. I don't believe he was there the year before, though. To be honest, of course, I mean, we all know he's out there putting the work in. It has nothing to do with the contract, whatever. Though it would have been nice to see him there, especially, I guess, just because you do have 2 new quarterbacks you've never played with before. I didn't even see that. Yeah, exactly.
But it's a good point. But for the people thinking like it means something bad is going on with the contract negotiations, it ain't that. Now, is he there because is he not there this time because he doesn't have a new deal? Possibly, because if I were him, I wouldn't put myself in harm's way any extra, because someone will pay you the money you're asking. If it's not the Vikings, someone will do it. So like if it is partially because of the contract, I get it, but it doesn't mean that things are going poorly in the negotiations that he's not here. So I don't know. I just think it's a little bit overblown by people that think it's got so much to do with the contract not getting done. So everything's gonna be fine. I believe he'll be there for when mandatory minicamp shows up. So.
So I'm putting a poll in. Are we getting worried about Jetta's contract? Where are you at with that? Because I guess I was hoping it would. I'm not worried, but I was hoping. I guess I wasn't super surprised that it hasn't gotten done yet. But I think when there's like reports coming out with people thinking like, oh, things could get dicey, and but I don't know.
But there's no reports though. It's Adam Schefter saying, "Oh, he turned down this contract last year."
Right, that's what it is.
Because he knew the salary cap was going to jump, and plus I don't think it's false that he's out there thinking like whatever CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase might get, like I want more. Like I want more money than them. I don't think that's wrong either. Like I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I am not concerned at all about the contract getting done. I think the fact that he texted McCarthy after the draft and kind of just said like, welcome to the team, like that type of stuff. If you want out, you ain't doing that. Like I firmly believe that he was involved in all these discussions. I don't know. I don't have one iota of concern that things are going poorly. I think the contract will get done. I think part of the reason that we've talked about all the time, the reason that Kwesi wanted a rookie quarterback is because he knew we're going to have to pay Justin Jefferson. So we need to, and he said, that's actually the first thing they said during that video that the Vikings put out about the draft today. Kwesi said, the wheels have been in motion for the last 2 years to get a rookie quarterback in here. So this has always been part of the plan. You don't take this job with a guy like Justin Jefferson, because obviously Jefferson was here before Kwesi got here. You don't take this job with a guy like Justin Jefferson if the plan isn't to pay him when he's due his money. So I'm not worried. I think he's gonna break the bank and set records with his contract.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there is the rumor that he might want 37, whatever. I mean, I don't think he's gonna get that much, but
no.
I don't have any concerns about the contract getting done. I personally, I don't know, part of me doesn't think it's gonna get done till training camp because I know that's the way Spielman did things. I know that's just kind of sometimes how it happens. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes into training camp, but until you start hearing actual like gripes and news about things going poorly or like or talking through the media, like we see a lot, to where things are actually being like said and not just speculated on with like Adam Schefter trying to grab things when there's no news to talk about. So until we start hearing those things, I don't have any concern.
Yeah. I'm not concerned. I think it's going to get done. I think both sides, like trust in KO, like everything that we're seeing from KOC and Kwesi as far as the way that they've talked about the situation and pretty much saying that, oh, it's going to get done or whatever. I do think there's obviously something not being agreed upon here, though, that does need to get figured out. That's the only thing that I would say is like there's something, and I don't know if it's just going to be around guaranteed money. I know there's rumors about that, but there's something there for it to not get done after, especially since we did offer him the highest deal for a wide receiver in the beginning of the last season. And then it's still going. It could be with these other wide receivers or whatever, guaranteed money. So I don't know. I mean, right now, definitely not worried about it. If we're in training camp, if we're going into August and it just feels if we're hearing about the same things could get a little.
And that's the thing. If it goes that poorly, I don't even know if he makes it here for training camp. At that point, if it's going that poorly, at that point, you might just trade him. Like he might be traded for something. Like at that point. So I don't know, because I just don't foresee him showing up without a new contract. And if we're not going to give it to him, like I know, you have him under your control. You have him for another year. You can franchise take him twice. You ain't going to do that with a guy of this caliber because
he'll show up to.
You just let him walk for nothing, and you don't want to get to that point.
Yeah,
if you are ultimately going to trade him.
So do you expect to see him at mandatory OTAs June 4th?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll probably still see him there. We've seen did Daniil Hunter show up to that last year? No, I don't think so. He showed up to training camp
2 years ago. I think he didn't.
Okay.
Because mandatory. Last year he ended up getting that Band-Aid 1 year kind of reworked. Or no, he was already.
No, that was in August.
Reworked the deal.
The rework was done in during preseason, I believe.
I thought it was 2. I think it was 2 years ago where he didn't show up.
Was it?
Man, I think so.
Maybe.
So I thought last year they already had something worked out for him before those things came up. But I don't know. I personally expect to see him. Like I think. I mean, it's for something voluntary that you don't need to be at. I could see him not wanting to take the risk. But when it gets down to like, that's why a lot of people think maybe June 4th is when or June whatever is when he signs his contract. Maybe shows up to mandatory minicamp ready to sign the deal. I don't know. I personally still think it's training camp, but I'm not worried. It gets done.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's going to get done.
There's been nothing to make you think that it's not going to.
Nobody's worried in the chat so far about it not getting done. So that's good. That's good. Other than that, I mean, for minicamp, we hope things are getting out. I'm hoping to see more. Hopefully we're getting some more reports from people of how McCarthy's doing, how Darnold's doing, just how all of that's going. Because we usually do get that. I'm trying to remember, like maybe we get some stuff through voluntary minicamp, but maybe a lot of it does come from just regular OTAs. But those are the kinds of things we're going to be looking for. I mean, as far as expectations go, we want to hear what's going on with JJ McCarthy. We want to hear what's going on with Sam Darnold. We want to see I want to hear if there's any sort of buzz about like McCarthy potentially starting this year, or is it going to be like McCarthy, like kind of like the whole Gerard Mayo thing? Hopefully we don't hear it like that. but with Drake May saying he's got a long ways to go or anything like that. I do know that Kyrie Jackson, did you see that clip?
Mm-mm.
I guess we can look into that real quick. Kyrie Jackson, so he took a screenshot like a screenshot of a play of him on Jordan Addison, which he ended up winning. He's like, the first time I've covered Jordan Addison or whatever, and it was JJ was the quarterback, and he kind of threw it a little bit behind Addison, whatever. I don't know, probably not the biggest deal in the world, but I'm going to bring that up since you haven't even seen it yet. That was like the one, because that's the one little bit of clip we've seen today. So some people are like, is he going to get in trouble for that? Or I don't know. Hopefully not. Let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, we got some right here. All right, I'll pull it up. So, all right. So this is on Leighton's, who's been on the pod before. What's we got? Low Ragged. Yeah, see, everybody's doing this. Okay, we'll just watch Leighton's here. But yeah, so this is his first rep ever versus JA. No BAP. He quick as shit. I don't know the acronym for that.
Someone that knows hip young lingo. What does BAP mean?
No cap. He probably meant. That's what it was, right? Probably. It had to be, right?
I'm guessing so.
That's my guess. So anyways, so this is the play here. Can you see my mouse when I do this?
Yep.
No. Oh, you can? On the screen?
Yep.
So I think this is JA right here. No, down here. I don't know. But so this is kind of the play that he pulled up here. Yeah, so JA kind of beats him at first, but Kyrie Jackson turns back around and gets him pretty well on this one. But if you watch JJ here, I mean, I guess you could say it's a little bit behind Addison.
Yeah, a little bit. Threw it to the spot, not really out in front of him.
Trying to think, because if Kyrie Jackson's, let's see if he's on him. He's on him. There's a chance you make that throw anyways, right? I mean, Kyrie Jackson is getting in front of him a little bit. There's a chance that Kyrie Jackson was getting in front of Jordan Addison there, but yeah, I don't know. Wasn't terrible. That's all we got. That's all we got for highlights. At the end of the day, that's all we got. So hopefully,
we put out like a 30-second clip. Nothing like play wise, but
that's what we need. Some plays. Hey, what's going on, Russell? Early tonight. What's up, Vikings Nation? Hey, what's up? I love how Addison is always there. He's such a good kid. Yeah, I know. I think Addison will be. Dude, Addison's been putting in work too. Yeah, I'm excited for Kyrie Jackson a lot. I think he's got. Dude, he's just physical, big physical, and he ran a 4.4?
No, he's a little slower. I thought it wasn't like 4.6.
No, I think it was faster.
Oh, because I thought they said they were worried about his top end speed.
I think they might have been, but
4.5.
4.5. 4.5 on the dot.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not. I mean, a kid with a bigger cornerback like that's not too bad.
But yeah, you do like the size. You do like man coverage,
physicality, everything. I mean, he brings everything you want from a cornerback. Of course,
he's just old,
25 years, which, I mean, that worries me a little bit. Not too much, but you don't got much as a rookie. You don't have much room for development, right? Like, I mean, most rookies are coming in at 21 years old, and by age 25, you're entering your prime. You're supposed to be good by then. So hopefully with Kyrie Jackson, I mean, hey, hopefully we just see something from him this year. And I mean, if we do, and then, maybe by next year he turns into the guy we want him to be, it'll be worth it. Jackson is 4.5. Hey, what's going on, Too Evil? Hey, Too Evil, I heard you're on the mission to find Skol Fest this year. JJ hasn't deleted us from Instagram. Everyone is fine. Hey, let's go.
He's not ready.
What's going on, Sarah?
No time for new beginnings.
Played in the top defense. He's ready. Yeah, I know. Well, he played for Alabama for a little bit, but he didn't get much playing time. Goes to Oregon. Tried to be was the employee of the month for a grocery store. So that was pretty dope. And then tried going pro in NBA 2K before he got the phone calls to join Alabama. So I think he made the right decision. But now he's going to be future shutdown corner for the Minnesota Vikings.
Didn't he go? I thought he went like Alabama grocery store, JUCO, and then
Was
Oregon.
it? I thought
I
it
might be
was.
wrong. I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. I'm wrong.
I honestly, I don't know the exact timeline. I can't. Oh, someone's worried about. We got someone.
Oh
What, is
boy,
that one or
probably
two
too
people
evil.
worried about?
Probably too evil.
Yeah, it probably was. I am the venue scout. Let's go. Too evil will not disappoint. Let's go. Venue scout. Maybe the Vikings should trade JJ now for some picks. No, I ain't trading him unless we're like going into the season. If it comes to the point where it's obvious there's something going on, you got to do what you got to do, which would be unfortunate. But I don't think it's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to that. But yeah, I mean, outside of what was the 30-second video on that the Vikings released?
It's just their normal,
just like
OTA,
them walking on the
OTA
practice and
clips
stuff.
Yeah, that type of.
So I'm guessing they'll probably release something that we'll be able to see at some point for highlights. Hopefully they usually do.
There's like
I know everybody's kind of shitting on the social media marketing, social media marketing team. Jesus, that's literally what I do. But yeah,
never would have guessed.
Yeah, I know. Hey, good thing they don't have me on there. Hey,
they don't have me talk. They just have
if I was on there, I'd be dropping all the highlights. I'd be sneaking in there in a camo suit, trying to get us all.
You'd be full on Rick Sosa. You'd be an insider, getting all those videos and post them, and then they wouldn't want you there anymore because you're a big deal.
Yeah, I know. I'm too big of a deal for them, so they won't want me in there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hey, maybe someday. I want to sneak in. I don't think anybody's really allowed into these ones, though, right? It's not open to the public or anything. That's why we're not seeing
other than just the insiders or the,
Right. So hopefully we get something more highlights driven coming out. Hopefully just give us one good, nice JJ McCarthy. That was a nice one he had in rookie minicamp, but something else. Like, it kind of sucks that his first video that went completely viral was him missing that throw to the coach there.
Yeah.
So is $50 million per year for 5 years fully guaranteed too much?
I mean, they're not gonna be paying him $50 million for 5 years.
You're talking about JJ? That's crazy. No, that ain't happening. That ain't too much for JJ McCarthy when he wins us a Super Bowl. PFF rated him 80, which led all Oregon defenders. Let's go, dude. I'm hoping so.
I know when we watched corners, I think he was the first one we watched. And obviously, we ended up seeing some better ones when we got towards the end. But
the thing with him is,
really impressed with how he.
Yeah, we liked what we saw from him a lot. I think it did kind of come down to like us looking into his experience and being like when you're looking at guys like Arnold or even like Kool-Aid and stuff, you're like, oh, they were like top cornerbacks for Alabama and stuff. So it's kind of. When you putting that experience, which doesn't always mean anything, right? It doesn't always mean anything, but is JJ overrated? Are you talking about Justin Jefferson or McCarthy? Don't say both. But no, Justin Jefferson is definitely not overrated. No. I would say he's not overrated. JJ McCarthy, I mean, nobody knows. Yes.
Yeah,
he says yes. I'm so pumped. Yeah, dude. Skol Fest. Hey, week 2.
Fest off the heels
San Francisco 49ers.
Skol Fest off the heels of a Minnesota Timberwolves NBA championship.
I guess. I mean, all right. I mean, I guess we can.
Twins might be in contention for October baseball at that time. Still, the Wild still exist. So it might be pretty cool.
Well, hey, actually, good news with the Wild. I believe either going into next season or the season after, they're finally done with Ryan Suter and Parisi's contracts.
I think they have one.
Could get interesting.
I think they have one more year of that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
maybe it's one more year. Yeah. Because then you get. I mean, once that's out of the
matching 14-year contracts.
Yeah, it's 11. I think it was 11. Insane. It's insane. Completely insane.
Basketball and hockey, they do that. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Or baseball and hockey, they give those really long.
My prediction is JJ will have a better career than Kirko.
All you have to do is win 2 playoff games. Win 2 playoff games, and you're already.
He might do that in his rookie year. We'll see.
Win a Super Bowl, you become the greatest quarterback in Vikings history,
dude. Instantly.
Even if you come in, even if he has one of those
guys sold me on like, JJ. Hey, we don't have a choice. We're JJ's, whether you like him or not, he's here. We might as well root for him until.
Exactly.
I'm going to root for him until I can't anymore. That's what happened with Kirk Cousins. it just came down to a point where I'm like, I just don't feel like he's that guy. And, I think everybody started feeling that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So
can we talk about Kurt's cap hit for the Falcons? I mean, what is it? 90 million? 90 million for
a lot of money
going into 3 years. No, so anyways, there's not much going on here. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more information throughout the week. I mean, there's practices all throughout this week, and then we go into mandatory mini camp. I mean, there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. So hopefully we get some little bit more out of this. But as far as today, there's just really not too much. Obviously there's the videos. Casey threw the dig. I was shocked that Casey threw a dig at Kirk on your JJ video.
Kirk is dead. Kirk is dead.
Get out of here. Kirk, get out of here. Get out of here. That's a question I've always asked. Can we talk to Kurt? Yeah. Hey, it's $0. No, actually, it's not $0.
Don't say zero. It's like 35.
Damn it. Never mind. Not yet. But hey, after next year, when JJ McCarthy is ready to be completely unleashed going into 2025, hey, we're going to have all that cap space.
Is it 25 or is it 35? It's one of the two.
I think it's 25.
Well, why don't we just go find out? It's a quick Google to over the cap.
I believe everybody was talking about it being 25.
I believe that sounds correct. Kirk Cousins cap hit this year. If my computer would load.
Again, everybody, another show, another JJ McCarthy Bowman first rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already. Still going to be eyeing out the as soon as they release anything with him in a Vikings jersey, I will pick that up.
$28.5 million.
28.5
in dead cap.
Yeah.
28.5, 14 from Daniil, almost 15. 6.8 from Marcus Davenport. We're still paying Delvin Cook.
Hey, what up, AJ? Welcome in.
Dean Lowry Madison, former Gopher, says yeah to Maywell. $57 million worth of dead cap, but it's okay.
Hey, and that's all going into next season or off season.
Yep, next off season we're projected to have as of right now, it says 68, but it's going to be more than that.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be banking, bro. We're going to be able to get a defensive tackle. We're going to be able to get a center and a guard if they're available. And for sure, defensive next year, that's what's going to be nice. Like, you give this year, 2024, you give JJ McCarthy the time he needs to get acclimated to the NFL, bring him in nicely, and then going into the offseason, you'll be able to fill a hole on defensive interior and free agency to some extent. Same with interior offensive line. And then you still have that first round pick to go grab another guy in those positions as well.
I feel you, AJ. I'm on your side with that one. I'm on your side with that one.
It sucks. I love Delvin Cook, but man, it was like, I don't know, his career just nosedived. You don't see it he's not even 30 years old right now, right?
It's better to move on as Purple for the Win always says. It's better to move on from a player 1 year too early than it is to move on from him 1 year too late.
Hey, what's up, Bob?
We moved on from Delvin at just the right time.
Yeah. Yep. And then that's what's crazy about Aaron Jones. So hopefully we don't see that from Aaron Jones anytime soon.
Yeah.
He's a stud though. I think the thing with him is he doesn't have to he's not going to take as much wear and tear, especially though he's injured a lot, but not like Delvin Cook where you're running up the middle all the time. Aaron Jones obviously playing in a committee kind of his whole career while also kind of being more of a passing back.
Yeah.
And letting another player take the brunt of the runs between the gaps. So
and having injuries that weren't directly related to his legs was another big one.
Yeah.
I think didn't he have some shoulder injury or something last year?
Yeah. All right. Let's just I think it's time to switch over here because
we'll pivot. We've kind of covered everything there is.
Yeah. I mean, we covered literally everything possible that we could for today in mandatory minicamp. Again, hopefully highlights come up. Hopefully we get a little bit more from the social media marketing team from the Vikings, so we can actually get some excited with some stuff here. But I'll answer this real quick. Cook was so badass before he got injured. He used to bounce off and keep. Dude,
yep.
I know.
That was my biggest thing. He how many freaking shoelace tackles did we see? Did we see Delvin Cook get, tackled with over the last couple of seasons? Yeah, sure. He had the 2 or 3 huge screen plays, but then he had how many where dance, run into your lineman, fall over. So I was done.
I'll answer this real quick. What position group for the Vikings scares you the most right now?
Interior, probably.
Defensive interior. I would say,
interior line, offense and defense.
Yeah, it's up between them. The thing is, it would have always been defensive interior, but it's like Blake Brandel. That's what Blake Brandel. That's the one that we paid, right? I was not expecting the scenario where we're going to go into the season with him assuming that he's projected to be the starting left guard. So that kind of scares me. But I would say, so I would know. I would probably, I don't know. It might be interior offensive line now. I thought we were going to at least get Reisner back or something like that. Hopefully, though, there's a chance Ed Ingram, 2nd round pick, has progressed throughout his career. Not as fast as maybe we'd all love, but there's a chance that he can step up a little bit more this year. And then Garrett Bradbury, obviously kind of up and down. But if he can be kind of what he was in 2020, 2022, 2023 season, then maybe we'd get, I don't know, maybe that'll be all right. But defensive interior, there's not much there. And unless Jaquelin Roy comes in and really just takes a step forward this year, we don't really have any, even young players on that.
Well, because we have Levi Drake Rodriguez, who I'm a fan of. I think
but he's really young and a 7th round pick.
And then that undrafted guy that's like 360 pounds or whatever. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, anyways, let's do a pivot here because I saw, let's start with this here. We have a dog who wants to kill everything in front of him. When have we ever heard one of our star players say that? Dude, never. That's because that's what's special about Anthony Edwards is he's like straight franchise level type of, like, not just like a generational talent at his position. He's a generational talent in sports in general. Like he's legit as far as basketball terms go, is the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the LeBron James, the guy that comes around and is generational athlete in the game. The Patrick Mahomeses, the Tom Brady's, the face of not just leagues, the faces of sports. And Anthony Edwards is going to be that guy. We've never had anybody like Anthony Edwards. I would say Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson, at least in my world. And I guess you could say, and I would say KG too, but Anthony, even between them, like with Randy Moss and Jefferson, you're wide receivers. It's different when you're a quarterback compared to being like an athlete in basketball. But I don't know. Anthony Edwards he's a superstar, 22 years old.
When you have a guy that people are already thinking like he's on a Jordan-esque trajectory, that's different, right?
Yeah.
Like, like you said, yeah, we've had the Randy Mosses, right? We've had Justin Jeffersons, but like, you want to talk about like once we end up with a Tom Brady comparison quarterback, like that's when you reach that level, right? Of absolute stardom. So the fact that you have a guy, like you said, who's 22 and he's already he's talking about how people are already talking about he's on a Jordan-esque like trajectory. It's just like, that's
insane.
That's insane.
Jordan, one thing that you have to keep in mind is Michael Jordan's rookie year, he was 22 years old, I believe. I believe he was the same age as what Anthony Edwards is right now in his rookie year. So that says a lot by itself. But man, I guess we can jump right into just Game 7 in general here. And we kind of started talking about it earlier, but we were down, is it 15 and a half?
I think
15 and a half, and then they came out of the third quarter, bringing it up by 5. It felt like maybe against other teams, you'd be like, hey, we're still in this or whatever, but it just looked exactly the same way we played in all these other games that we lost against the Nuggets, where it was like, we let them have a big score by like 15 points. We'd get it down to like 10. And then all of a sudden they'd go on a 6-0 run back to 16 points. And we just played this game of trying to and then they would just keep going every time. It made no sense because every time we lost, it was always like that every single time. But then we just have games where we just dominated them. So it was like, how does this work? Like, how do you just absolutely dominate a team in 3 games? And then all these other games, you just can't. They're the better team in those ones. Right. Overall, obviously not the better team, but yeah man. What's your takes on all this?
I think it's one of those things like when you're a championship caliber team like the Nuggets, like defending champs, I think like the biggest difference was those first 2 games, you go to their home court. The first game was close, right? We, kind of came down to the very end. Second game, you beat the absolute shit out of them, right? By 30 points or whatever it was. A team like that's going to punch back. And they did 1-2 games in a row here. And then they get back to their home court and things are hyped and they take that game as well. Like that's what it is. Like that's just the championship level of them, to where they got punched bad in those first 2 games and they came back hard 3 games in a row. But then like this team hasn't shown a lot of quit this year either. Like I think there was like they went through the first 2 months of the season without losing back-to-back games. And then obviously middle of the season, they kind of went on a little downward spiral, but they ended up kind of getting back to where they needed to get to. And it's just, I don't know. It's, they stood toe to toe with a team that punched them back hard, and they came back and won 2 elimination games.
Yeah.
Won game 7 on the opposing team's home court.
Yeah. It's
just one of those things. And like Dylan said earlier, that it did come down to that third quarter where, the defense just tightened up. And that's what they said. We came out of half. Carl said it. We went back to playing Minnesota Timberwolves basketball, which is good defense. Yeah. And you can go on some runs and just play solid offense. And that's exactly what we had to do. I mean, McDaniel stepped up big these last 2 games. What did he have? 18 game 6 and 23 last night.
Yeah. Like
he stepped up big. His defense was amazing. Naz Reid, while he didn't affect the stat sheet from a scoring perspective, defensively, I think
towards the fourth quarter he did scoring wise.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter he did. Yeah.
Had to have been one of the better defenders on
Jokic.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I mean, same with Towns that won that matchup big time. And that's what I was going to jump. I really hope that Cat gets he deserves it. He stuck with us through all the bad. Yeah, dude, if anyone deserves it, for all the hate that Cat has taken and everything, and having the most important basket in the entire game with that putback after the Conley Conley miss. You mean? Yeah, Well, the most important basket of the game was the Rudy turnaround. Well, yeah. I would say that was like
I love like when you listen to the press conference after and Ant's like, yeah, when he made that, we kind of felt like we had him. Like that's kind of one of those things that it's just,
hey, what up? No, stop.
It's absolutely just debilitating when Rudy Gobert is able to kind of nail a fadeaway jumper again. So like that's one of those things that you're just like, okay, it definitely is not our night tonight.
Yeah. I'll get back to that. MJ didn't get good defensively until years into his career. Ant is great now at defense. Obviously, Ant's got a lot of winning to do before even actually truly being compared to MJ. But that's another thing and like Ant said as well, is he can also shoot threes. That's something MJ really wasn't able to bring to the table until later in his career, which he never was like absolutely great at that. Yeah, I agree, Trey. JJ for Wentz. Cats and Ants press conference, the best. But no, dude, the Rudy Gobert last second, like turnaround fade, stupid. That's insane. And now you got to love it for him too. Same with Cat. It's different with Rudy, obviously, because Cat's been here for 9 years. But same with Rudy, gets the same similar type of hate Cat does in playoffs, especially since Rudy's like done this playoff things, made it past the first round, and then ends up, kind of getting beat up or whatever. And in this series, Jokic had his number almost all series long. But this last game, for him to step up the way he did and making those big free throws, not to mention like outside of that insane fadeaway. I mean, he made four his last 4 free throws in the fourth quarter there. So that was massive. But yeah, I mean,
well, yeah. And this is, and his primary matchup was on Aaron Gordon. And that's a good point. He held him in check. Well, Cat and Nas took care of Jokic. But I mean, and there are some people that we know who may say that Gobert gets played off the floor in the playoffs. His favorite team might also be in a conference finals. I don't really know, but he's wrong. He was wrong. Gobert did not get played off the floor this game.
No, I know. He did not. I can't make Skol Fest, but you got what, Roger? You got to make Skol. You got to make Skol Fest one of the years, my guy. Just one of these years, Yeah, exactly. Rudy, I was like, the thing is like, there's going to be players that are just not good matchups against a guy like Rudy. And I can tell you for sure, they do not have anyone like that on the Mavs. So, I mean, if we're going to go, because game 7, actually, I guess we can finish up a little bit on game 7, because like I was saying, I would say the Rudy score was like all right, we're not we are turning the corner here in this game. That's what's happening right now. The Cat was like, this game, that was over. That was the dagger dunk, because they were after the whole Anthony Edwards was trying. No, Cat was trying to pass it into Ant or whatever.
The inbound on the turnover.
The inbound and went out of bounds or whatever. And that's when you're like, here we fucking go.
As soon as that Murray's three was like the real big tipping point there. If Murray makes that three, then it's a whole new ball game. It's 2 points, and there's a great chance they find a way to come back and win that. When he missed it, that was the point where you really you were able just to exhale and be like, that's it. We got this. We're moving on. So
yeah. Big. And like you mentioned before, it's just unbelievable to see a team like this who, comes in, wins the first 2 games, especially one very handily, loses the next 3 against the champs, and then pulls out the last 2. It's just something we're not used to seeing from our sports ever.
One of those was an absolute mugging. 45 points.
45 points.
That's a mugging. And then to come back and to start off, we started off hot in the first quarter. Then just second quarter kind of went back to what we normally do. It kind of fell apart. And then you really felt like it was taking a turn for the worse in the third quarter. Like you said, we can make a little bit of a run, but then they're just going to, because we did that a lot. We made in those other games where we lost, we'd make a small run. Mm-hmm. Denver would call a smartly timed timeout, and then they would come off and kill our run off the timeout. So they didn't let that happen last night. Like they said, they got stops. They played Timberwolves style basketball defense and started making things happen on the offensive side. And
even though I know Ant didn't have his best shooting performance, though, getting what up, Vocal Viking in the building. What up? Obviously with Ant didn't have his best shooting game, but even without that, you can just, first off, he was double teamed pretty much the entire game. They had him locked up, and eventually he was able to figure it out and get the ball to some open players. But his defense was fantastic. He ended up with 8 rebounds, 7 assists in this game in general. Not to mention he made 3 at the end of the third quarter, massive, with 0.7 seconds left. That was a game changer to go into the fourth with that kind of momentum from a shot like that. That's something we don't see from this team much. Something we haven't seen from Ant much is being able to score at the end of quarters in that way. So for him to do that, and then of course the wide open 3 that Anthony Edwards ended up taking, which that also felt kind of like a dagger, other than we kind of let them come back a little bit after that. Just huge. So Edwards still made a massive impact in this game, even if his shooting isn't there. But that means someone else on this team needs to step up to some extent.
Yeah, I do feel like they're going to need, if they really want to make a big time run here, they're going to probably need a little more from now. I think he's been pretty quiet. When he had to start for Conley, he played solid, but outside of that, he's been a little quiet. It'd be nice to see him do a little more off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the thing with him. He's the type of player where it's like in a series, especially like in this Mavs series, we need 2 games out of him. We need 2 games out of him to step up and have like some of those games we saw against the Suns, something like that. He doesn't need to be like that every single game. Whatever, we can win without that. But I do think he needs to step up. Right. I do want to bring this Big Grill and Cat will handle PJ. I saw this stat today. They're saying the last time Cat played against PJ, Cat dropped 68 points. So if that's not the case,
is that that game that was that the game we lost?
That the game we lost? Was that this year?
He had like that 50-point game this year that we lost.
Yeah, that we lost. So the 68
this right here is the biggest point.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic is their best player. If you can, and he's so easily frustrated. If McDaniels can just play that lockdown defense on him and get into his head, it'll throw him off, and that'll ruin their entire series. That's the problem with Luka, and we've frustrated him before. I've seen it.
Yeah, we played good against the Mavs.
Exactly. Luka's just like he's the heartbeat of that team, and so if you can get him frustrated, which you can, the one thing is I'm going to get annoyed watching the very Devin Booker-esque plays with the heads flying back and the trying to draw the fouls that he does sometimes, but. Like that's the key. If you can stop Luka, you can stop the Mavs. And the big thing is get him frustrated, because then that's when he starts struggling. So
right. And obviously you have to worry about Kyrie, which
yeah,
he's one of the most clutch shooters in the NBA. but he's not a guy who's been putting up like tons of points or anything like that. Still a big worry. The guy to worry about is Hardaway and his threes. That's something we have to worry. He's also a streaky. He's a streaky guy. I mean, that's like the like what we did with Michael Porter Jr., who came in with like shooting 60% of his threes going into this series, and we locked him out of like 5 of these 7 games completely. So hopefully we can do that with Hardaway. But that's what I think when it comes to the Mavs. Like, I've never been worried about them. I think if there's one of these teams that we're coming into playoffs that we match up well against, I think it's them. Because like you said, if you can take Luka out of the game, I'm sorry, Kyrie and guys like Hardaway and PJ, it's not going to be enough for them without Luka. But you take one of these stars, you take Luka out, you take Kyrie out. I mean, what are they going to do? You have a bunch of role players on your team outside of those. They don't have anyone big. They have like Lively, the rookie who's skinny, tall kid or whatever. That's where we match up definitely way better than them is our size. And I mean, people said this against the Nuggets, like we ended up winning with size, even though you're up against the best, not just center, but the best player in the NBA in Jokic. I don't think we're going to have any challenge as far as worrying about their opposing bigs with Dallas. Like, I'm not worried about anything when it comes to that against Dallas. And I think, and then not to mention, like we've already talked with having Jaden, having Ant, who's already excited for his matchup against Kyrie, and then So you have these like 3 really good wing defenders, and those 3, and I mean, out of them 3, I think they can put the hammer down on both Kyrie and Luka. And what do you do? Like, they can't play all games. You're gonna have to take them out. We're deeper than them. We're bigger than them. We have more stars than them. Like, I just don't see in the world where the Mavs can come in and beat us. I think the Suns and the Suns in Denver, to me, were our biggest challenges coming into playoffs, and we took them both out. And I wasn't really worried. I wasn't worried about the Thunder because, you know, they don't have a player over the age of 27 there. They're all young. The only other team I kind of worry about is the Celtics, but that's Eastern. So I think when we go into the finals, if we're up against the Celtics, you know, that had been like the other team outside of Nuggets and the Suns that I was kind of more worried about playing at some point in playoffs.
But they've also been beatable as well. I mean, they lost by almost 30 to the Cavaliers. So I don't know, man. It'll be fun. Well, so what are we thinking? Wolves in 4, 5, 6, 7?
Let's see what we got in here so far. Will the Minnesota Timberwolves win the ship? 92% says yes. 8% says 8.
8% says what?
8 or 8. 8% says 8. 8% says no. So that's just for the championship. But as far as this, so like if we play the Celtics, you're going to have a hell of a finals. It's going to be a battle, probably similar to what we just did with the Nuggets against. I think we beat the Mavs in 5. I'll say 5. I know a lot of people have 6 as the popular answer, but I'll give the Mavs 1 win here. I just think we match up too great against them. I do really like Luka. I do like Kyrie. I think they're both really talented, but I don't know. Anthony Edwards is on his way to being a more impactful player than any of them two by himself, right? Including Luka. Like, you can say because of Ant's defense, he impacts a game more than Luka does. So that's just one player. And then you still have Cat, you still have Rudy, you have McDaniels, who is playing fantastic right now. If he keeps doing what he's doing, I just don't see how, especially their team, can beat us. But any team, honestly.
So I think I'm kind of feeling 5 as well. I'm thinking they win the first 2 at home. They lose the first game in Dallas. They win the second game in Dallas, and they close it out at home. Is how I'm feeling.
Okay,
so I think they go 2 wins, 1 loss, and then 2 wins again to finish it off.
And then so we go undefeated at home.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. The confidence in that locker room has to be on another level. Like, you don't get that same amount of confidence beating the Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but that's the thing. But because and one of the things I did like in the press conference yesterday, and to me, who's always been I want to find a reason like to harp on Karl Anthony Towns. That's just who I am. Like Karl Anthony Towns will be one of those guys. He's kind of going to be like Kirk Cousins, that his career is going to be all about how he played the last game. And until he wins something big, I feel like there's always going to be those people out there that will judge him. But last night, and this is the difference. This is why Anthony Edwards is the unquestioned leader of this team. Because last night they were talking about playing Dallas, and where Towns is like, there's such a big emotional moment here. I can't even think about that. And Ant chimes in. He's like, I'm thinking about it. So it's like, that's one of the things you want to, like, I worry about that. I hope that this team doesn't get too high after beating a team like the Nuggets and thinking like, oh, we got this. I like that Ant, the leader of this team, is the one being like, I'm already like, this is done. And that's, that's one of the things that Kevin O'Connell always says, like, or like the big in football, like you enjoy your win for a day, but then on Monday you're back to work worrying about the next team. You can't, like, what happened yesterday doesn't matter. So that's why when I heard Kat say like, I can't even think about that, I'm enjoying this right now. And Ant chiming in, just being like, I'm already thinking about it. Like, that's what you want.
Right.
Him and Finch and Mike Honori need to instill that mindset. Like, don't get too high. Like, that's the second series out of it. There's still 2 more series we got to go win here, guys.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously with Kat, like, the game was just ending. So I'm like, all right. So, I mean, obviously, like,
like, he should at least get the rest of last night to be high about it. But then,
But I know what you're saying, because it is like, because obviously, I mean, if he said that today, then it'd be like, hey, you got a game Wednesday for sure. But having Ant being like, hey, no, I'm thinking like, we didn't win yet. That's a big difference between, even with, that's something that Karl Anthony Towns, that's a hard part when you start with a team in a franchise that Karl Anthony Towns comes into
9 years.
And you start off as a poverty franchise that can't even make it to the playoffs. So your expectations are low. I mean, if you can't make the playoffs for the first 6 years of your career, and then now you just winning the what's that game called to get into the playoffs? Playing game. Winning when we won the play-in game, that was like, I mean, this wasn't even the first time. With Jimmy Butler was the first time, but the one with Patrick Beverly or whatever, like, one of the biggest memes there is now in sports. But that's like literally the feeling that we have for Wolves fan when that happened. That's how low the expectations is. And even with Karl Anthony Towns, like, you do have to worry with him, like, you guys won a series, like, that's good for him. But you got to love that Anthony Edwards is that guy who's looking at this is like, this isn't, who cares? Like, yes, it's great, but who cares?
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't mean anything unless we win a championship.
To me, losing to Denver would have been like the frustrating. We're up 2-0. We really should have won that series. Like, I'm upset. Like, this sucks. But hey, they took the defending champs to 6-7 games, whatever. They lost. At this point, though, now that they won that series and they got to this point, I almost feel like anything less than getting to the finals is a disappointment now. Like, you earned home court advantage. You have a good matchup against Dallas. Like, to me, I feel like anything, like, again, lose to the Nuggets, you're like, okay, it's growing team. They got the good experience. They'll move on. Now it's like, you got to beat Dallas. You got to make it to the finals.
Oh yeah, there's not even a question.
That was a disappointment. In my mind.
You made in like I said earlier, like, in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's opinions outside of mine, like, we're going into this pro season, like, we do not want to play the Suns, and then we go and sweep them. And then we definitely didn't want to play the Nuggets. Like, if there was one team that we didn't want to play in the Western Conference, it was the Nuggets, probably, right? And if there's a second team, it was probably the Suns, and we beat them both, right? And then maybe it was OKC. The Mavs, honestly, if there was any team, honestly, I would have picked the Mavs between the Mavs and the Clippers, because we've played so good against the Clippers all year. But those would be the two teams I feel like we match up against the best, other than New Orleans. Without Zion, of course, I would have picked them probably. Yeah. But even the Lake, like, playing LeBron and Anthony Davis would have scared me more than probably the Mavs even, So, but as far as Celtics go, I mean, I honestly, I think we're going to go in there and I think we're going to beat this Mavs team pretty good. I think that the Celtics do scare me. I mean, yes, I see some of these comments here. I know Horford's old as shit. I know Jason Tatum is kind of known for not really stepping up in really huge games, but still, like, that team is kind of like ours, where it's just so deep with Jaylen Brown, with White, with Drew, right? They have Drew Holiday, like, they have Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench. They just have, that team is just so deep, kind of reminding us of ours. I believe they ended up having, I think they had the second best defense this year. Quite a bit of a separation between us and them. I do really think we played them well this year too. I do think we match up well for him as well, but
I mean, yeah, Luka did play pretty well against us this year.
Yeah.
34, 39, 33, 25 points over the
No,
4 games.
I would say like we aren't even the same. We're not playing like the same team we were during the regular season. This is different.
Yeah.
We lost. We got our asses whooped. We're not another team in the league handled us the way the Suns did. Not even close. And we swept them. Our team that's the cool thing about being a defensive team. Like that playoff mentality, I think that works for defense better than offense, because you're going to miss shots on defense. If you want to win your freaking matchup because it's playoffs, you can. And that's what you're seeing out of Jaden McDaniels. That's what you're seeing out of That's what you're seeing through Anthony Edwards is they're putting in. I mean, they're grinding out every possession on defense.
Right. And then that's the biggest thing too, is it can be debilitating for a team if you get defended so well and you just can't make your shots, right? Especially if then that team goes back on offense and they score, if you just can't get anything going and they're stopping you at every path and then they can just make all their, make a lot of their buckets. Like that's not like, so not only are you beating them just from an offense perspective, you're tearing them down mentally and physically from a defensive perspective. And we saw it with Jamal Murray in game 2. Like to the point where they're acting out and they're complaining to the refs because they just can't get a shot up and they can't make anything because you're all over them, draped all over them on defense. So it's like, yeah, being a good offensive team is great, but defense, like you take their will away on defense and you stomp on them on offense.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I think I'm more afraid of Jokic and Jamal Murray than I am Luka. And I'm like, I saw the best two tandems in the NBA during these, from a point standpoint during playoffs is number 1. I think Kyrie and Luka have the spot with 48 points a game. Number 2 is Ant and Karl Anthony Towns with like 47 points a game. And that's those two players that's their team. Those two players' team is Luka and Kyrie. If you take Anthony Edwards and Cat out of the situation, you still have the best defensive player in the year in Rudy Gobert. You have the sixth man in the year and Nas, and then you have a savvy veteran and a guy that you could, when he's playing at his best, might be the best defensive player in the world in Jaden McDaniels. Like, he's probably been the best defensive player during playoffs this year. So like they don't have anybody like that over there.
Rudy is something crazy. Like throughout the playoffs, he's like a plus 111. Did you see that?
Yeah. I know someone posted that today that he has like the highest plus or minus.
And then Charles Barkley is trying to say pull him off the floor.
Yeah, well, Draymond's been trashing. I want to hear what Draymond's got to say now because he's been eating him alive. Hey, what's going on, Norris? Hey, boys, got my JJ and Ant cards today. Hey, let's go. Long time coming. In 2024, we went 2-7 versus Celtics. In 2024, what do you mean? 2-7.
We played them 9 times.
No, we went 2-1 versus Celtics, or 2-2 versus Celtics.
No, 1-2.
1-2. I know we whooped them one game, and then
we barely lost the game.
That game.
Last 9 games. Okay.
Last 9 games. Sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but again, this year's team is different.
Right. For the Wolves, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And we've played them well. Even we should have won that game I went to. It was depressing. it was exactly one of those.
Weren't they up?
We were up a lot in the fourth, and they were just. Yeah. It was that situation that it was like that you as a Wolves fan, you have to worry about, like when we're talking about the play with Anthony Edwards and Cat on the inbound or whatever when they were able to get the steal there.
We only played them twice. We split.
Oh, we ended up splitting it.
Yeah, we went 1-1.
And we should have won that second game.
And
I think we could beat them, but
the other thing
it's not going to be a cakewalk. Like if it was us versus the Pacers, like if the Celtics were out right now, I'm sorry. Like, hey, the Pacers they shouldn't be where they're at right now. They shouldn't. The Knicks were the better team. They were dealing with Jalen Brunson and injuries. But yeah, like if the Celtics were already out, I would feel very confident that we should. I think we for sure should win the ships, but I'm not feeling.
Yeah, but my thing is though, it's like if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? So like that's why I didn't want Jamal Murray to get suspended. Like I know he should have in the regular season, he does. I didn't want him to get suspended because like if we're gonna beat the Nuggets, I want to beat them at their best. I don't want to have to say, oh, well, this guy should have been suspended. We should have won because of that. Like, I don't want any of that. So far, you beat the team that gave you the most problems during the regular season. You beat the defending world champions.
Yep.
Now you get to go play one of the best players in the world in Luka. Then Kyrie Irving, not a slouch himself. And then if you make it past them, most likely you go play the big bad Celtics, who, yes, they haven't, they haven't won a title since 2009, obviously the KG year. And I think they've gotten close the last couple of years, but couldn't finish it off when they needed to. But yeah, I mean, so like just the legacy of the Boston Celtics, right? Playing on their court is tough. Like, that would be such a run. It'd be such a legendary run for this Timberwolves team.
It would if we win. I'm at the point. I'm like, I'd rather just give us a ship. Like, I want the easiest. We did what you said. Like, if we ended up winning the ship, like
knocked off every big bad boy on the block.
Yeah, it would be in like just. I mean, it's as impressive as just this 7-game series against the Nuggets to do what we did with them, starting with 2 wins. Going down 3 and then finishing it off with 2 is seriously insane how we did that.
Well, and that's the thing. And this one, you may outmatch the team. It's all about the mindset now. It's like, this one you overcome mentally because like you're here now after beating the Suns and the Nuggets. You got to get back level headed. So this one almost feels like it's more of like playing against yourself, right? Like playing against yourselves. Like, can we bring ourselves back down, get our heads back in it, and realize like we're not done yet. Like we feel we feel the NBA finals in our grasp, but we still have a team that we may match up well against. But if you let them have their way, they can beat you because they have scoring potential on that team. Yeah. So it almost feels like, well, this one is not difficult from like a physical perspective of who you're playing against, which it is still. It's more mental than anything else. Like getting yourself.
You just hope that the Wolves never feel that way, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
and then that's come down, and that's Ant made sure to show up.
Yeah.
And how he's just like. He's all the way around. If you could be the best, you could be the face of the NBA like Anthony Edwards is becoming, and he said he's still going to coach me the same as he'll coach anybody else.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to.
But you just feel like the way that we've been. What was I going to say? Actually, I was going to say this real quick. Hey, what up, Just the Super Bowl Vike? I felt like the Champions Series was already played between Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dude, exactly. I mean, that's how it kind of feels like, just because they're that good.
That's exactly it. You can't have that feeling.
No, you can't.
You got to move on from that.
No,
and that's just why I think this series is going to be absolutely huge.
Yeah, and I just, after what we did to the Suns, you just don't feel like, and they didn't really do that with the Nuggets. Like I said, like they came in and won the first 2 games. Obviously, the reality is like you're playing a good team. You're not going to win. The chances of you winning and sweeping the Nuggets were very slim. We had a couple games that there was a lack of energy, but it's a tough long series. I don't really feel like you're going to get, like, after all the losing and just kind of like the jokes that they were talking about, like, dude, we've been losing for 9 years or 20 years. Or
I was gonna mention that. That was
like all those kinds of things.
Sometimes you got to lose big. We lost last year.
And the year before
it was the playoffs, and we lost 2 years ago. We've been losing for 20 years.
We've been losing for 20 years. But that's exactly the point, though. Is like, you guys lost enough. You know how, like, you can't. There's no way losing that much that you can feel comfortable about beating up on any team, especially one with Luka. Like, you gotta kind of have that hungry mindset every single time. Like, there's no way you're going to be slipping like, oh, we got this for sure. Yeah. You're not going to feel that way. But that's why I'm excited about this series too, though. It is like it's the face up of the face of the league face ups, because Luka was for sure the easy favorite prior to this year. With Ant stepping up, but then of course, a lot of people are going to want to bring Wemby into that conversation already. But that's what it's kind of like Luke, this is a big matchup between Luka and Ant specifically. And you could argue like whoever wins that series, especially if one of these either of us ends up winning the entire thing, that player is going to be the face of the league going into next season. Like, that's how big of a deal it is. Like, I think, and the funny thing is, if Jason Tatum, I guess he would be the other one, but for some reason, even if he wins the finals, I still feel like they're not going to let him be the face for whatever reason. He's just, I don't know. He kind of gets disrespected. Probably shouldn't have, compared to the way Anthony Edwards and people just love Luka and Anthony Edwards. But Yeah, it'll be the Denver fans want dude. Can't all right. Conley needs to be talking about
which, as Northfield says, which Conley, Mike or
Tim, because he's talking. Well, they didn't have Nuggets. Never had Mike Conley.
Didn't they? I thought they did.
No, they had. He went Utah, Memphis. Maybe he played. I could have
swore they said he played for them for a bit. No, I think I'm wrong.
No, they're probably talking about Tim Conley. It's always confusing because they always say Conley, but they're talking about Tim.
It's spelled yeah.
Tim with Tim, man, that dude. If there's that dude might end up being the most legendary GM of all time. If we win a championship after he set up the Nuggets for a ship and then leaves and then
builds the team that can beat the Nuggets.
And then if he left us again and just goes builds another team somewhere, that'd be insane.
Well, because I think they said teams want to pull him for like their CEO or not CEO, GM or another team wants it for something.
Yeah, I know there was like rumors that dude, he just needs to stay here. Just build it. It's time to build a dynasty. Stop leaving teams after making them good.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it, but hey, I just want a champion. I did just want a championship, but now after this Nuggets Game 7 win, I'm ready for a dynasty. I want to go straight. I want to go straight to the top now. I want it all. And losing the draft picks for Gobert or bottom of the first picks. Yeah,
exactly.
Which we still have one this year. Gonna get Bronny James, point guard. I'd do it. Screw it.
Okay.
I'll do it. Give me Bronny James.
I thought he sucks. I thought I heard he's not very good.
He had a disappointing season at USC. But he's still LeBron's son, you know. Hey, what up, JJ?
What I need is LeBron on the bench. Finch, hey Finch, do this. Hey Finch.
That's all right.
Play my son. That's it. It's the end of you.
Dude, we need LeBron. What if we just need LeBron to come over and play off the bench for a couple of years?
I'm okay.
Oh, I'll take that. I like LeBron.
LeBron's annoying. I'm not a LeBron guy.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm taking him. Give me Bronny James. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know. Hopefully, I think the cool thing right now is at this point, I really think we should beat the Mavs, and it would be obviously disappointing if we don't. But the Wolves have completely beat my expectations. You like LeBronda? I don't mind him. I'm not. I was never. I was
ass clown away. Good. I'm glad to see that people are on my
from Minnesota. I would take him, or I would take him off if he was like, I'll come and play off the bench as like a role player or something. We don't really have any room for him on the team. Yeah, I've never been a LeBron hater. I always was cool with LeBron. There's people who really love LeBron, and then there's people that generally hate LeBron. I kind of was like, I'm cool with LeBron. I don't know. Maybe some of the stuff he says outside of off the court or whatever can be a little bit crazy.
I think
sometimes.
It's more what he does on the court is just annoying.
Whatever. I don't mind. LeBron's good. LeBron's one of the greatest of all time. It is what it is. I've always been more of a Steph guy though over him. We need a 3D point guard, dude. That's what we need more than anything. Which Bronny James is that. I don't know if we got Bronny James, it would be a publicity stunt, in my opinion. I don't know if he'd come in and be that guy for us. But that's the biggest thing moving on from this year is we need to find a successor to Mike Conley to some way, somehow. And it'd be nice if if we could just get a solid rookie who could sit under Mike Conley for a year or two. Next year.
Let's just win it all first, and we can worry about anything else after.
I mean, if we win it all, we don't even give a shit what happens after that. At least for a bit. Okay. I'm sure we would, though. But yeah, I don't know, man. Don't screw us, Timberwolves. Just come in here and take down the Mavs, and then I don't know. I think we're going to the finals. We're gonna see we've never even seen a championship in our life.
We've never seen any sort of series game. Yeah. We haven't seen.
This is the furthest we've been with the Vikings in our life.
Exactly.
The Vikings. We have two conference championships. NFC
championships. I saw someone out there thinking that maybe the Wolves would be a landing spot for Darius Garland if they decide
I would love that
if they decide to keep Donovan Mitchell or if Mitchell stays there.
The thing is I know someone brought up Young too, which I'd rather have. Garland's more of a role player. The thing with Young is Garland should probably be more of I think he probably shares a little bit too much with Donovan Mitchell, who's going to be like that ball, I guess,
So
I don't know,
like you'd
ball
be thinking
handling.
like Young would be more of probably too much of
Too
a
much
presence for a
handling,
team
too
with
much
Towns
scoring,
and
too much. Yeah, with
Ant.
Ant.
Yeah,
When you have Anthony Edwards,
yeah,
you need the team to run through him no matter
right.
what. I think Anthony Edwards can be a little bit more forgiving as far as like being able to give other players on his more chances, especially as he gets better as a pro and things. You're seeing it through playoffs, especially like last night's a great example of him seeing his shots not going in. So he decided to revert to setting up his teammates instead. And that'd be perfect situation for Garland. I would love to get Garland. I just don't know how we'd be able to afford. I don't know. Who knows? I feel like cap space is just, you know, not real in any sport, especially baseball, obviously, where it really isn't real. But because I don't know, every team figures it out some way somehow. But getting Garland would be awesome. But you feel like you'd have to get rid of somebody. I don't know if you're going to be able to have Rudy on that contract, Cat on his contract, and Anthony Edwards on his.
Oh, right. That's
Aiden's on a
like that's kind
contract,
of
Rudy's on it, or Nas is on.
the
It'd be tough to pull something like that off. But that's why it'd be nice if we could do like the whole JJ McCarthy thing and somehow hit on a rookie point guard and ends up being at least just solid. I know one thing that can be talked about actually is I think Tyus Jones is going into free agency this year.
bring him
I
back.
mean, it wouldn't
Bring
be
him
a bad
back.
thing. Minneapolis Lakers want us to
And
jump.
then they had to be traders though and go sell the team to LA.
Yeah, you see all the Lakers fans became huge Timberwolves fans throughout this thing. They're calling us like the Los Angeles Timberwolves and shit.
Lakers North.
The Lakers North. Yeah. That's how salty they were at the Nuggets. I know. I'm just ready to get some. I want the Timberwolves to get some haters, bro. The lack of haters is disrespectful. It's time to get some haters, bro. I mean, the Nuggets should be on their way for sure. The Suns, I feel like they just blame themselves and their team. Like that was just such a shit show. I don't even think they knew what to do with that. But I do think if we go in there and beat the Celtics, I think we get a couple salty Boston fans over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what up, George?
But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like if we lose, like yes, a lot of growth this year, and like you build on it and you improve the team or whatever. But then you got to realize like how competitive the West was this year.
Yeah,
I mean the fact that the 1 through 3 seed came down to the last game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's one of those things like yeah, we'll be back, but also like it's tough and it's only going to get tougher. So it'd be nice to see him get it done now.
Yeah. Though, I mean, it's no matter what, you just gotta be filled with optimism about the future, though. Just because what we're able to do with 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, and just knowing this kid's only gonna get better, and nobody knows how good he could actually get, right? Like we see what he is right now, but who knows what he can be? He can literally do everything you possibly could ever want from a player. So I don't know. You're got to be like right now, if we ended up losing to the Mavs, I'd be disappointed just because I feel like we're the better team for sure compared to, I would have been less mad if we lost to the Nuggets.
Right.
I would have been less mad if we lost to the Nuggets last night than if we lost this Mavs. This Mavs one just feels like we should win.
Exactly.
So I don't know. But if we ended up losing, it'd be like, obviously, it would suck, but you just got to be like, okay, like we're the real deal now. We're one of, if not arguably right now, we're arguably the best team in the NBA right now. I mean, we'll find out. I think we're going to stomp the Mavs. It's just the Celtics, I think, the only team in our way now. Yeah, let's go. Jaden McDaniels plus Ant, Pippen, and Jordan. Yeah, we just need Jaden. We need Jaden to play like that offensively through consistently. Hopefully through the season too. This year was just awful regular season from him, though, coming off of his broken hand, all that kinds of stuff. I'm hoping that we see him in the gym a lot during this off season, so he can come in the year and look what he's doing these last couple games, or at least a handful of games during the series. But if he can keep doing this during the playoffs, man, that's massive. Him coming in and hitting those threes is it's everything we need out of him, despite the fact that his defense is just completely insane.
Yeah.
Completely insane. But yeah, he really is. And I mean, God, and you got just the Rudy, you got Cat, you got Mike Conley in this scenario. Like, man, our starting five, when all going well, Nas Reed coming off the bench, is crazy. It's crazy. It's insane that I now have to root for Glenn Taylor, who has been one of the worst professional franchise owners in history, to keep the Wolves because Lauren A-Rod might be trying to move them.
No, they're
I
not.
don't think they will.
Well, they said the NBA wants to expand, not relocate.
Yeah.
So if anything, they're going to add a team. They're not.
If they did that, it would be like the biggest rat shit in sports history, because there would be probably an hour of footage of them saying that they will not move the team. So if they ended up doing that, I don't even know what's going on. That's going to be an interesting scenario. That's one thing that's kind of crazy. A lot of people had a feeling that was going to, like, I don't know, hold our team back or whatever, like the drama, but it does not happen now.
No.
Cat was getting banged around by Jokic. Cat was getting banged around. Cat was banging around Game 7.
Yeah.
Cat took that game from Jokic, in my opinion. Jokic still has all them crazy stats, but A-Rod and Lure must be so mad now. Dude, I know. I mean, they're adding another $1 billion to the value of this team after the ship coming. They're gonna be doing everything they're gonna do everything they can. Like, this might as well be for them. This is like trying to win a championship. Like, imagine being in their shoes and you have the up and coming Timberwolves, or you just lose out on them forever. And a team that already is doubled their price.
No matter what, they still have a stake. They're still minority owners.
Well, yeah. They're still
going to be a part of it.
Right. But just from the obvious, I guess, publicity standpoint, being the actual owners, it'll be interesting because I know at first they weren't allowed in the Target Center and stuff. You're seeing A-Rod everywhere now. I mean, Ant and him even have their own little handshake and everything. That's wild. They aren't real. Yeah, they can't, especially, dude, Minnesota. I mean, our sports we're on our way to a big market here, right? I mean, if
anything, they should just, they might need a new stadium here. If anything,
we might need to grab a second team. We might be the next Los Angeles over there. The Duluth Clippers. I could grab a Duluth team. Just go grab the Clippers. That'd be wild if Duluth I would be so happy if Duluth got a professional team in one of the 4 big sports.
Well, Duluth does have our most successful college program.
For hockey?
Hockey, yeah.
Yeah, for hockey. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Our most successful Big 4 sports team, right? I mean, what other ones have won a world championship? I mean, the Gophers football team way back in the day, but not recently.
Well, the Gophers hockey team has, I believe.
Not recently. They lost. They lost the last couple of years, I thought.
I mean, they might have lost, but I think they've won since the Bulldogs have.
Sounds
good, JJ. Pretty soon here, man. Pretty soon.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. They must have came really close then.
2003 was their last national title.
Hey, nice. Yeah, let's go Bulldogs. But no, it'd be sick. I remember when I think they were talking when they were trying to figure out like the stadium situation for the Vikings. I remember there was a rumor about their stadium being in Duluth at the steel plant.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I was like, come on, make it happen. Obviously, there's no way they would do that. That'd be crazy. That'd been sick though. For Duluthians, anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I think
Minnesota lost an NHL team. Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
I know, right? Basketball team, NHL team. But now Wolves about to win a ship. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're not leaving because of that. And then we just got the franchise quarterback in JJ McCarthy. The Vikings are about to be the other team. Like, we're going to be a 2-headed monster at the very least with the Vikings and the Timberwolves. Like, we're in. This is going to be the height of Minnesota sports. Like, we're on our way to the height of Minnesota
and the Twins have pieces there. They have 2 solid pitchers. I mean, they have Royce Lewis, who, when he's healthy, is amazing. They have Walker Jenkins, who's going to be an absolute star. They have some good pieces, and then the Wild are going to have money soon again. So every team has something to be happy about, right? Like, there's building blocks there. It's just the Wolves are the ones that are saying, "Hey, here's how you use them." Remember back when people were talking about the Wolves should have drafted LaMelo Ball?
Oh, bro. That would have been a massive mistake. I'd rather go to Duluth than to Minneapolis to see a game. That would be sweet. It'd be kind of weird. It'd be like the what you see from Lambeau, and honestly, even Foxborough. When I went out there, it's kind of like in
Kind
the
of like a
middle of
small
a
town.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a small town vibe with just a big stadium there. I think Duluth would honestly be a great spot for something like that.
Where would they put it?
I mean, they were talking about the steel plant in Morgan Park, which really would have,
I
because
don't know
there's
if they
tons
want
of
that.
open, there's
I don't know if
tons
they
of
want.
open land there.
I want a pro sports team in Morgan Park though.
Hey, that's where I grew up, son. But no,
So
I
I don't
get
know
it.
if you want a pro sports.
You'd have Duluth Eskimos. Yeah, I know that
Hey.
was the
Hey, can't say that anymore. Stop it.
the Leatherheads.
My high
right?
school's name got stripped because they can't have that anymore.
Where else would they possibly put it in?
Name.
Because that's a big area. I mean, you could just clear all of Canal, even though that'd be hell to get to. Just clear all of Park Point.
Go over the everybody go over the
Everybody's over the
bridge to
bridge.
get there.
The lift bridge. To
Hell
get there.
no.
Yeah.
That drive sucks when you're just trying to go visit. Imagine that.
It would be cool though. You need
stadium.
somewhere that had like a view. No, that wouldn't work. Old Central, or like Central High School. I don't know if you've ever been up there before. We had to finish my 12th grade year there, and man, that no one. I think someone might have finally bought the school there, but it's like the best view of Duluth, probably in all of Duluth, and it was just sitting there as open property.
I feel a lot better if we didn't get shit kicked by the Yankees and get swept by the Guardians. But again, like I said, all they have to do is stay within striking distance by the time Royce Lewis gets back, and make a run after because that's kind of what they did last year. They hung in there, then they made a run after the
Lewis. And Lewis came back.
Lewis did come back, and he's got to come back, and he's got to come back with
and get like, you know.
And Pablo's been disappointing this year in my mind.
Has he? I mean, I was looking at some rankings. I saw a ranking that had us ranked as the 6th best pitching staff in MLB this year.
As of his last 2 starts have been rough. I don't know. He's been very up and down. Joe Ryan's been solid. Bailey Ober, he's had 2 rough starts. But outside of that, he's been
pretty good.
Paddock is a 5th. I mean, Paddock.
And then the best.
Simeon Woods Richardson is just kind of like, he's okay, but he's not I don't know.
And then our depth hasn't been really great. But what's his name? I should not forget this. Our closer,
Duran.
Yeah, Duran.
But But they haven't been using him as a closer. Rocco's been tossing him out there in the 8th inning. He got the loss the other day.
Did he?
Yeah. So he's been putting him out there in the 8th inning. I don't know.
Easily the best intro in all of sports.
Yeah, I saw it live.
Other than maybe WWE.
Pretty sick.
You guys went to UMD? No, we both went to UW. Yeah. Yeah, we decided to save a couple extra bucks than to go to UMD.
It's crazy how cheap
in comparison to UMD. Yeah,
it was $8,000 a year to go to UWS.
Yeah, dude, it was way cheaper for the same thing. Though, I mean, UMD probably would have been cooler.
Yeah,
at least the sports would have been like you'd been able to root for a sports team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we had nothing.
It wasn't like there was no school spirit at UWS.
Oh, and hockey. Nobody likes UWS hockey players. They're all a bunch of. I was about to say words you can't say, but
yeah. And now you guys are both rich. Yeah, I wish rich and Minnesota sports fandom with the way, like, pretty soon here, rich in W's coming, especially by the Timberwolves. But when JJ McCarthy turns into the guy, oh, you did, Sarah? That's awesome.
I wanted to go to UMD. That was my first choice, but my mom was like, "You don't want to go there."
I don't even know if I could. I don't even know if they would have let me in there with my grades. My grades were not good. I got better in college actually, but they were not. I was definitely a slacker for a while there.
I think I finished like a 3.2 GPA. Pretty sure. Yeah.
In college or high school?
I had in high school. I was like a 3.2 student.
I had like a 2.5 in high school is what I ended up with, but I was sitting at like a 1.5 at one point in high school. Just a slacker, you know, and then started putting it together because I was like, fuck, I should worry about my future to some extent. We'll see. Yeah. They can tear down Edgewater Hotel. Yeah, there's all things that we can get rid of, right? Edgewater. Yeah, there's that road there. That'd be kind of tough. Dude, honestly, just get rid of, I don't even care. I know it's like the one cool venue we have, but get rid of everything at Bayfront. Get rid of everything.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. No more. What's it called? What's the winter thing? Bentleyville. No more Bentleyville. The deck might as well just go at that point. You just take the deck out. You take that whole area, put a stadium there. I don't even live there, so I'm all good with it.
Bayfront's cool. Bayfront's the greatest place to go for a concert.
It is pretty nice, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Viking Stadium, even though U.S. Bank Stadium's like considered arguably probably top 3 stadium. We're talking about Duluth.
Top 2 and it ain't 2, as they say.
We'll take it. I'll take any team. I'll take the soccer team if we had to. Nah, we can leave that in Minneapolis.
Yeah, they're pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. I've been to a game. I did not enjoy it.
I wish I could get if I lived in a different country, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna like make myself like soccer.
Yeah, but I don't, so I won't.
Well, we like the fast.
Soccer sucks, and I will hold on to that thought for the rest of my life. I do not care what arguments people have. I will always say soccer sucks, and I will not apologize for it. You just don't understand it. No, I don't. Soccer sucks.
Where's the best place to live in Minnesota these days? I don't live there at all, so I would say, Duluth is still good. There's some,
but yeah, if you live in like the right places of Duluth, it's cool.
Red Rock, Colorado is the best venue for concert. I've been there. I went to a Wiz Khalifa concert at Red Rocks. I got a job at the railroad to make more than 4 kids who all went to college.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. College is one of those things, in my opinion. I'm like, unless you like know what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's better. I don't know. It's tough decision.
Their goal is to get people that don't know what they want to do and try to get you into like 6 different interests so that you stay there for like 6 years. Like that's their whole goal is get you to stay.
Yeah.
And that's why they make you take gen eds for. So you stay 4 years and it's like, hey, maybe they'll find a different interest and change their major. Then they got to stay another year. Like that's all they want. Not about teaching you anything.
Or for sure not about putting.
You're a business major. Well, take this stupid gen ed that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing when it comes to that is just like if you go for something that you spend all the money and then you get something that you're not going to be able to get a higher paying job for. Like it doesn't, like there's a lot of majors that you get, even though sports podcast talking about college and school and stuff doesn't make any sense. But yeah, you get into something that you can't get a lot of money. You pay all that money to, I don't know. I'm not going to call any majors out specifically, but you spend all the money to get one, you come out and you end up working a job that has nothing to do with that. And you're just working a job that you didn't have to go to college for.
Is it maybe a major that we both majored in? Is it maybe something?
No.
Anything business related kind of ends up.
I would say to some extent.
People make fun of business majors. Athletes are either business or communication majors because it's so easy.
I would say that is fair, but I would say there's definitely jobs you can get.
Well, for sure. Yeah.
For if you have like a business major, especially like management jobs. Like you could never be a manager in your whole life, but you could get a business major. I would say that you ain't learning a ton about. I don't think you need to go to college to learn about business. Honestly, the best business people in the world drop out of college.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything like that, but.
Because really, like best business people are self-thinkers, so they go to a place like where they're trying to teach how to think about things, and you're like, I don't.
There's so many things you can get.
I'm just going to do it myself, and that's kind of where you get.
Unless you're going to be like a freaking scientist or something, or an engineer or something, like that's probably a tough thing to teach yourself.
Something boring like that.
Be a tradesman. College is farce. Yeah. Yeah, great point for the younger generation. Trade school is just as good.
It is, yeah. And it's big because like a lot of people don't know how to do anything. Like, I don't know if you watch the South Park special, but like kids don't know how to do shit anymore. So it's all just like you pick up the phone and you call the handyman and he comes and fixes it for you.
And then he ends up
people don't know how to do any of that stuff anymore. So
yeah,
if you can learn a skill like that, like a trade skill.
It's one of those things where it's like legit, like it's like trade. It's kind of a job everybody has, but now it's not. So it's like not a lot of tradesmen, and then it's going to hit a point where like, oh shoot, we need tradesmen again.
Well, and the biggest thing is it's just like nowadays kids don't want to work hard. So there's plenty of those jobs open for people that just want to make good money. And most of those jobs you get to work Monday to Friday. So why not, right?
Bring black, wood shop, metal shop, add electronics, programming.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think my high school, there was no wood shop when I was there. I think after I left, they added it back. It's like that's a lot of stuff. I have no idea how to do some of that shit.
Oh,
like, it'd be great.
I'm
No,
like,
instead I got
luckily
stuff
you got
ready to go.
YouTube. You got YouTube. Like, I'm someone that would be like, okay, I'll figure out how to do it myself with YouTube. But no, I don't know. I'm not a handy person. That's for sure. That's because I spent all my time learning how to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Which I didn't learn from college. Actually, that's the craziest thing is when the year we graduated, my last semester of college was the first time they taught internet marketing, just internet marketing. And now 5 years later, how many years has it been? 5, 6, 7, whatever.
As we graduated?
Yeah.
7?
What year did it was? I don't remember,
I
but
think I graduated. No, I graduated high school in 13.
2017.
Oh, yeah, 16. I graduated in December of 2016. I'm pretty sure.
So I graduated half a year after you, 2017, whatever, 7 years. But yeah, still, even back then, all the social media was a big deal still. So it's like now all marketing goes through the internet pretty much. And I took one semester of like the most basic internet marketing class.
So if I remember, isn't that like the only restaurant in Beloved other than like a Subway or something? Because I remember I worked for Super One for a while, and when I was on the reset team, we did some work at that store. And I remember we went to the one pizza shop every day, and I think it was that one because I think it was like the only restaurant in town.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
They had great pizza.
Musk has. Yeah, I'd say like if you go, I think there's a lot of things you can go to college for. My wife's a nurse, actually, traveling nurse, so she makes.
But that's also one of the things Jamie was talking about. Like if
you have to go to college for that.
If you go for a career like that, like something that you need a college degree for,
right? Because you have to learn. Like you can't just teach yourself. You can't teach yourself nursing, right? You can teach yourself business. There's a lot of things that unless you were to like obviously there's a lot of stuff like I know people say a lot of things about like psychology majoring and stuff like that where it's like you're not going to find anything in that unless you go for a master's or a PhD in that as well. Like you just gotta, it's just one of those things where you just gotta know what you want to do. Like if your goal is to be a scientist or a nurse or something, like definitely go for it. There's other reasons too though. Like for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do in college, but I
went into it thinking I knew what I wanted to do, and that was manage a grocery store. Then I realized, wow, that was dumb. Like if I could go back, I would have focused on the marketing side of things. Yeah, and I probably would have done some internships and stuff.
Right. For me, it was like you had a goal. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what my goals were. I didn't know nothing. So it was like it gave me something to be like, okay, here's a goal to go do this, and then I had to like learn. I didn't like. I just did not try in high school. So it was like gave me an opportunity how to learn like basic skills, honestly, while having a goal. So I think there's ways college could be good. Will it end up being worth, the debt it puts you in? I don't know about that.
I mean, I know like there are a lot of jobs that like their basis is just a bachelor's degree. So it helps you get something at the end of the day, but
yeah.
Whether it's worth it is actually all up. It all comes down to how you feel about things. So,
yep. A lot of things you can these days too. You can do a lot on your own to get fucked up. I know. I wish that was me. We didn't go that kind of school.
No. Well, maybe we did. I just didn't live on campus. I lived at home.
I'm sure there was some.
I saved myself like $7,000.
I never did. I went to a community college first and then switched over. By that point, it was like too late.
Yeah.
When nobody pays the loans back, it actually means everybody pays the loans back.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Loan forgiveness and free college and stuff. Yeah, it's all free.
Well, I ain't giving no loan forgiveness is out. Sorry, I have loans. I'm sorry. I know it's probably not smart to ask, but
I mean, if you're gonna do it though,
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm on the other side of the street here. I got loans. I got student loans. I'm taking that forgiveness if it's given. I'm sorry, it's happening. Anyways, back to Wolves real quick, I guess, away from college and things like that. We're about to give Jamie, if you don't pay your loan back, we are going to turn you into a pack. Nah, that's too fucking far. You say a lot of shit in here, Too Evil. I think you just crossed the line right there. Packers fan, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. That was the craziest thing I ever heard.
I'd rather go to college and they turn me something else than have to come back.
Only fan Neuralink? Yeah. Like, I mean, no one's even going to have to go to college. You just put that chip in your head and you'll be good to go. College is on the way out. Some people, yeah. And then, of course, there's people that definitely pay their loans, things like that. Of course there is. Of course there is. I mean, I've had to pay my loans, unfortunately. Anyways, hey, we're gonna give away this card. The JJ, get those hashtag scores in the comments. JJ McCarthy on the Bowman first rookie card. Get the hashtag scores in the comments. Like the video if you have not already, and subscribe if you have not already. Just circling back again, we talked about minicamp. Not much going on right now. Hopefully we get some stuff coming out of there. Hopefully we get some good news about JJ McCarthy soon. And then obviously we're talking about the Timberwolves for a while. Man, it's just exciting times. We get it at the very least. We get a whole nother series to watch them play.
And like,
I just got a lot of.
Obviously, I want them to win. At this point, it'd be a disappointment if they don't. I just want to see a Minnesota team in a championship series or game or something. Sick. We've never seen it in our lifetimes.
Not a championship, not even a championship.
Not even a championship series or game. No one's played in one in our lifetime. So having it be the Timberwolves would be so hilarious just because that's the one team I never expected to get there.
It's crazy. I mean, man, our team, the way our team became strong, because I always want to say, like, but it's because we have Anthony Edwards. Like, you have a generational dude, but it's not even all that true. Like, the way our team is just built in general is
defense.
It's defense.
It's a commitment to play defense. It's a commitment because, like, that's the thing. Defense, it's anybody can be a good defender. It all comes down to the want to and the effort behind it all, right? And that's one thing that they preach. Like, we're going to be a good defensive team, and that's what happened.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy when you were talking about, and with Kat was like, we're playing Minnesota basketball or Timberwolves basketball or whatever. It's like, damn, bro, like for literally my whole life, that outside of when KG left, that has been the opposite. Like the fact that Timberwolves basketball now means like suffocating defense blows my mind. OTA highlights are up on, okay. Here.
Well, yeah, that was like that. That was the one I was telling you about.
Oh, is it actually highlights, or is it just
a minute long video?
Okay, and we need to see is there actually like throws or anything, or is it just like
McCarthy makes a couple throws, but they don't really like show anything like
not
major.
Too much. Okay. But I'll have to circle back to that. The only thing the Packers fan has in common with the college student is weekend keggers.
Yeah,
I think Packers fans. Yeah, if everybody went to trade schools, the major colleges would have to lower the intuition. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't even know the way all the colleges. I'm assuming a lot of people are probably less people are going to college, less and less, I'm guessing. I
don't know. I've never paid attention to college since I got home.
Ever since I got home, I'm like, all right, we did it. I'm good with that.
Would you ever go back? Nah,
no,
never.
Dude, if there's one dream that I have over and over again, it's me forgetting to do an assignment or like forgetting about a class in school, and then I wake up, I'm like, oh man, thank God,
I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy how that impacts you like that. All right, let me bring this up here. Go Wolves.
This is quite the marathon episode, or quite the marathon.
We went all kind of topics tonight. That's what happens in this part of the season, which I did forget to.
We just get to know each other on a more personal level here, guys. It's not about football really all the time. It's just chatting, and that's okay.
The heck? Oh, there it is. Hey, I like to chat about random stuff sometimes.
When all you talk about is one football team and one sports team for a while, sometimes you do got to mix it up a little bit.
And their tuition. That's what it is. Tuition. Oh, that got me for a second there. So I accidentally forgot to bring up the hashtag Skol thing. So we have 6 entries. So everybody who isn't in, I mean, you got to be here to win anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But get the hashtag Skols in, like the video, subscribe. Just 6 entries. We'll give it away no matter what. That's on me, regardless. Especially during the off season. Yeah.
We might be talking about, we're going to be
talking about the Wolves.
We're going to be doing these every other week, but we'll be talking about a lot of things.
And we're always going to start with the Vikings every time, no matter what, though. Obviously. But man, I'm such a big Timberwolves fan too. It's Vikings easy number 1, but my number 2 is not even a question, the Timberwolves. So it's exciting. We have Bleacher Report Timberwolves streams even. So it's actually nice to come on here because that we don't get to talk about them a lot. So when we go on Bleacher Report, it's kind of like, okay, hopefully we do all right at this.
Would have went to color. See, no, being a chef would be cool, but also like you got to work terrible hours because you're working dinner time. You know, it's
plus. I mean, some of these chefs sound like they're a bunch of dicks. Like sounds like it's a tough gig being a chef. I'm into cooking and stuff, but I don't know if I could do it as like a job. I feel like it's something that always has to be something I just randomly do for fun.
Right.
Hey, appreciate you, Big Raylan. That means a lot, man. For real. Jamie, you aren't a big Lynx fan? I mean, I like them more than the soccer team.
To me, they're pretty even. I find them more boring and unentertaining to watch.
Hey, if we would have got Caitlin Clark somehow, I honestly would be watching those games if we had Caitlin Clark. Probably. For at least a while. Draw. JJ getting antsy over there. But yeah, after JJ, I gotta let your hashtag Skol fingers get tired out first.
Cooking is a great way to
think all Kylie. Yeah. That's what it is for me. I can get into it like that. Please, all right. We'll give. Yeah. We got this. All right, JJ. Well, you go. You won this battle. All right, let's get JJ McCarthy. Bowman first. Got to be here to win. Y'all know the rules. 3, 2, 1. Who do we got tonight? Let's see if we get a new winner here today. Boom, 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 boom. Too evil, man. He might be number one right now. He might be number one. Too evil, you're still in here. I know you have to be. You just wrote to me. He's been on fire, dude. He's been on absolute fire.
Wow.
Yep, he already knows.
Wow.
He already knows. Too evil, my guy. Hey. You're doing the hard work looking for the venue, man. Like you deserve this and more. I'm really lucky. You find that venue, bro.
Do we have any early favorites?
I know they were talking about that hotel that you work at, but I don't know what that was all or if that's possible, but congrats, better buy a lottery ticket. Congrats, Too Evil. Let's go, Too Evil with the big. I have all my winnings in my office at work. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Bunnies is bunnies.
I have a feeling I might know where it is. Is JJ able to go to that? Too evil. Is it JJ friendly?
It's actually Bunny's Bar and Grill. It's actually
okay. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was gonna be something else.
Now I'm disappointed.
Just Skullfest and entertainment.
It's in St. Louis Park. If that's the right one?
Oh, it is. St. Louis Park's a nice area. It's perfect.
Bar and restaurant.
It's a bar and restaurant, dude. Hey, sounds good to me. I'm just ready to turn up. We're bringing it up to another level this year. Last year, we're all just meeting for the first time and stuff. This time, no, we all already met. It's all good. We're going in this thing. Yeah, St. Louis. Hey, that'd be cool. Yeah. St. Louis Park's nice.
I've heard St. Louis Park's a great place to go, not live. Like there's a lot like young people there, a lot of ours, but it's not. Which I shouldn't say. I mean, I'm not young anymore, so I'm 30. Once you hit 30, you're no longer young.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Well, anything else?
I think that's good. I just, again, hopefully we hear some good news out on JJ McCarthy. I mean, that's all my finger crossed are for the Vikings this week over anything. Obviously, JJ, extend him for the millionth time, get him extended some way, somehow, hopefully sooner than later. JJ McCarthy, we want good news coming out of training camp. And then, of course, Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Wednesday, first game. We won't be on this Wednesday or next Monday. So we're doing every other week with both our shows. So Wednesday we won't be on. Next Monday. So our next show will be
next Wednesday.
And by that point,
hopefully
we already swept the Mavs.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, We'd have 4. We're gonna be 4 games in by then because they said every other day, which I love. I love there's not gonna be like 2 or 3 day breaks. They said they're doing games every other day. So
business casual. Yeah, for sure. You're still just a kid. Yeah, I know. I keep telling Casey that. He thinks he might as well just be walking around with
dead. Might as well die. I don't know.
Yeah. Like he hit 30 and that dude like might as well age 20 years in one day. But all right, everybody. I think that's it for tonight. Hey, we appreciate y'all coming on here to talk about Minnesota sports, college, you know, all the things that should be talked about on a sports podcast. Already slipped the clouds. Let's go. But all right, thanks everybody for propping on.
Yep. See you guys next time.
Skol Vikes.